Hey boos, in this video I give commentary based on my opinion. Nothing is to be taken as factual. We are just here to have conversation. We don't expose and we don't sip tea on this channel. I'm giving you real talk straight, no chaser. Let's see if you can handle it.
Cause I'm a boss. Oh, hell no.
Hi guys, it's Yoni and I'm back with another video. In today's video, I'm going to be talking about this Facebook post that went viral. People keep DMing me on Instagram and I appreciate you guys. I love it when you guys send me things through my DMs on Instagram to talk about. I'm going to give my thoughts and opinions on it. So let's go ahead and dive right into this video. Let me pull up the post here. So Mark Smith took to Facebook and he wrote, "I remember a female friend of mine told me, Marcus, I'm tired of being the ninja in my relationships. I want to be able to just be the woman for once." In that moment, I realized what I had been admiring as strength was actually a burden to her. Then I thought about my mom and all of the women I know exhibiting this strength, and I wondered if they felt the same. It seems like the independent woman thing is more of a self-defense mechanism because women don't really feel safe with us anymore. But it's such a good defense that we've bought into it. There's so many layers to this topic of conversation. Slavery has a lot to do with where the strong independent woman really comes from. First off, they broke the black man down and they built the black woman up. I feel like that's the disconnect when it comes between, man versus woman. However, they knew what they were doing by breaking down the black man and building up the black woman. There is a book on this and I need to look it up, you guys. I don't even remember the name, but it really breaks down how they broke the black family dynamic. So you have women out here who are in marriages, relationships, and they're basically playing the role as both male and female, and they're just comfortable with having a man in the picture because 9 times out of 10, if you look from household to household and household to household, when we speak on the black community, it's like every other house maybe has a man in it. When it comes to black women, we're willing to accept the bare minimum because, we're just grateful to have a man in the home. A lot of us influencers, black women influencers, are trying to change that rhetoric, that mentality, that mindset because it's a brainwash. Within the black community, we need to understand the difference between a sister that is brainwashed, a brother that is brainwashed versus a sister and a brother that's not. When we have this conversation, clearly these two individuals are not brainwashed. Maybe he was oblivious and maybe this conversation needs to be had. Like Marcus didn't even know the difference. He didn't even think about it like that. But being the strong, independent black woman is definitely a burden. It was a burden on me. I literally did a whole video on why I ditched the strong, independent black woman mentality. I'm still a strong, independent black woman, but I ditched the mentality because it was brainwashing. And it was brainwashing starting all the way back to slavery when they broke the black man down and they built the black woman up because they knew that they could control us that way. And the black man was always seen as a threat because he was very strong. I mean, when you look at pro athletes today, we dominate pro athletics. So the black man has always been a threat. The black woman has always been a threat. But see, what they did with us was they attacked our mind, our mentality, and they brainwashed us up here. That's how they were able to control us. But a black man, they are more mentally strong, so they attack them physically. I also want to add, in conclusion with the brainwashing, depending on your gender, they brainwashed you a certain type of way. So they made the focus of the black woman, they attacked her mentally, they attacked the way that she carried herself, and they attacked her way of thinking. Versus a male, they broke him down physically because they feared him physically. However, both male and female, when we speak on the brainwashing, I mean, we still were attacked both mentally and physically. But but depending on your gender, they made the focus different. So when it came to the woman, it was all about the mentality, and when it came to the man, it was all about breaking him down physically to make him fear white supremacy. This also included removing men from the homes, whether it was through welfare or it was through incarceration. So when we speak on this conversation, there's so much dysfunction within the Black community, and it's because the foundation of the Black family structure was broken. As soon as we got off of those ships and we were brought here, we were already broken. We were already ripped of our culture, traditions, religion. We were literally ripped of everything. And at that point, that's when the brainwashing started. Now, when it comes to the whole reprogramming that I'm all about, if you follow my other YouTube channel called The Feminine Yoni, A Woman's Guide to a Feminine Lifestyle, it's basically me going through the phases of reprogramming myself, and I'm just taking you guys along on my journey, because a lot of this has to do with not understanding the importance of having a man in the picture. And I also made a post to my Instagram, and I'm gonna go ahead and read this as well. And it says, men are not the enemy. They are our fathers, our brothers, our sons, our partners, our friends. We shouldn't blame all men for the actions of a few. Blaming and shaming all boys and men leads to resentment for both sexes. Resentment will lead to more hostility. That's bad. So that was another thing, was when it comes to the feminist movement, that movement was never created for Black women. A white woman's liberation has nothing to do with a Black woman's liberation, because if that was the case, our sexuality, which I spoke about in a previous video, why I stopped being the Instagram thought, I talked about how my sexuality wasn't being exploited the same way, or I personally couldn't go out and be a porn star and then now all of a sudden I want to rebrand myself. I don't know how many girls who have been in the porn star industry that has been able to do that all because of their privilege. A Black woman could never do that. So when it comes to the feminist movement, that is a white woman's liberation movement, and that was not created for Black women. It wasn't even created for women of color, period. So it was created for the middle class woman, housewife, who wanted to go to work and wanted equal pay. That's who that movement was created for. I believe in feminism. I just don't believe in the feminist movement. I believe in femininity. I believe in womanhood. I believe in woman empowerment. I believe in all of that. But at the end of the day, when it comes to the feminist movement, that is the white woman's liberation. And me fighting for a white woman's liberation doesn't make any sense to me, because it doesn't benefit me at all. When it comes to this topic of conversation, she's saying that she doesn't want to be the ninja, the man in her relationship, but at the same time, we can't, as women, we can't paint men to be the enemy. We have to make them our partners. We have to learn how to work with them. We have to learn how to communicate with them. We have to learn how to truly make them our partners, because there are benefits to having a good man in your life who will provide, who will take care of you. But a lot of us chase stupid things like money, fame, and popularity. We don't focus on the characteristics of a man. A lot of times we find ourselves in situations with men where they're not the best. And part of it, I'm not going to say all of it, but part of it is because we really didn't take the time to vet them the way that we should have. We were so focused on, is he attractive? Is he 6'4"? Does he have a car? Does he have a house? But we're not really focusing and zeroing in on his characteristics. Now that I'm older and I'm more mature, the first thing that I'm looking at is a man's characteristics. Another thing that I want to point out when it comes to this conversation is, when I took on the whole strong, independent Black woman mentality, that was something that was forced onto me. It wasn't something that I chose to be. It was something that was embedded in me from the day that I was born. Like, I never really had a choice in being the strong, independent woman. It was actually forced onto me. So a lot of times we see Black men that give Black women a hard time, but you have to understand that a lot of that was forced on to us. Just like Black men being thugs and being hard and being street and all of that is forced onto them when they are born. Being the strong, independent woman is forced onto us as well. Like, this is a conversation that we should have between both Black men and Black women, because there's just a lot of dysfunction mixed in with a lot of misunderstanding. And then you got a lot of black men and black women out here who are brainwashed. It's almost like speaking to someone that is deaf at the ear, because they are so focused and fixated on how it's always been instead of thinking outside of the box and changing their way of thinking. At first, I'm not gonna lie to you guys, I was on the hate man train. And when I started to realize that, why is it that the hate man train is only forced on black women? Why is it that black women are the ones that are single? These other races of women are getting married, they're getting the family, they're getting the children, they have the careers, but black women were single. Why is that? Why is that? Why is the agenda for us to be single, why is that pushed on us so much? Why is it not pushed on these other races of women? A lot of us like to blame black men, but when we think about it, we as black women, we have the choice to date who we want to date. We have the choice to sleep with whoever we want to sleep with. If you have a problem with white men in America, then who's to say that you can't pull a Rihanna and date a foreigner? You don't have to date a white man here, because a lot of black men don't like it when we date white men here because of the history. But when it comes to a foreigner, they don't share the same history. So we could definitely date a white foreigner. We can definitely date a black foreigner. We don't have to date within the United States, especially when it comes to social media, these dating apps, Instagram, Twitter, YouTube. We're not our grandmothers, we're not our mothers. We have too much at our disposal to use for us to really be successful when it comes to finding a great man, a great quality provider man. So at first I was so against app dating, but I'm not against like Instagram DMs. I'm not against that stuff anymore. Facebook messages, I'm not against that stuff anymore. I used to be really against that, but I'm not against that anymore for so many different reasons. And I guess that just comes with maturity and me really putting myself out there now. Another thing that I want to talk about really briefly, I understand fully what she means, you know, and a lot of us are groomed to be the strong, independent black woman from birth. I mean, a lot of us raised our siblings. I know I helped raise my siblings. My parents were always at work. Who was to watch them? I wasn't even the oldest, but I was the only girl. So a lot of the responsibility that came with leaving your child at home was placed on me, and I wasn't even the oldest. It really stems from slavery, you guys. I mean, they literally broke the black man down. They built the black woman up. And so now when it comes to raising a daughter, when it comes to raising a little black girl, the responsibility of running a household and going to school and excelling at that and being able to do the little things around the home, and I feel like the pressure is put on us more because of that. I don't know why. I mean, I know why, but I don't really know why. I don't know why it's still like that. You would think the curse would stop at some point, but it's still going on and on and on. It's still being practiced on and on and on. When I have a daughter, I'm definitely going to teach her how to be self-sufficient, but I want her to understand the importance of having a man in her life, a good one, and allowing that man to be that man in her life and be there for her in a way that a man can only be. And I'm just going to really teach her balance, because that's what we lack. That's where the dysfunction really comes from, is the lack of balance. I'm not saying that you should be helpless and you should depend on a man. I'm saying when a man is in the picture and he wants to step up and he wants to take care of you, allow him to do that. This girl seems like she's attracting Dusties, and like I said, Dusties come in all races, all shapes and sizes. A Dusty is a Dusty. A Dusty is based off of characteristics, and hopefully if she is to tap into her more feminine side, she can start attracting men who want to take care of her instead of attracting men that want her to take care of them. Because I was that girl at one point. My masculine energy was my most dominant energy, and it was the energy that was navigating me through life as a young woman, and that wasn't the proper way to really navigate through life. And the proper way to navigate through life is to be feminine, especially if you want a man to be a man within your relationship. That's all that I have regarding this video. I would love your thoughts and your opinions on this topic, so make sure you comment them down below. If you have any other topics that you would like for me to discuss on my platform, make sure you shoot me a DM on Instagram, and also hit that notification bell so that you are notified for when I upload. And if you're new here, please subscribe. Welcome to the family, and I'll catch you guys in my next one.